First map of the second game. Starting off on Aqua Isles. Aqua Isles, certainly a good human map to start things on. We didn't see that previously. Perhaps WFZ vetoed the map. Aqua Isles is good for human because, most importantly, it's an easy expansion that is hard to reach for the undead. Also, a fairly easy merc camp, but you will not always have the time to creep the merc camp. If you do, that's very good. In the first game, we saw Sock with pretty late expansions. For my taste, too late with the expansions. Late expo, low footy numbers. That's what I believe were Sock's biggest mistakes. But Infi certainly knows better than me, and knows better than almost everyone what to do. So we'll see how he plays this here now. WFZ going for the level 1 DK harass instantly. WFZ was a big proponent of going creeping first with DK. But here's going for a happy-esque play. I think that's a slight mistake by Infi. He didn't let the Water Elemental tank the whole camp, so the DK gets experience from the Water Elemental. And it's just a small thing. It's not a real unit loss, but it's experience. And it's all about experience in the early game. I feel like a preacher sometimes because I keep on mentioning this. On tier 1, everything is about experience. Everything. Not everything, but almost everything. With fast expansion plays, it's also about delays and about damage towards economy and such. But I think the most important thing is experience. Every level jump here is a massive deal. Level 1 to level 2, level 2 to level 3. Big level ups. Both for the DK and for the Archmage. AM did get the level 2 here with the green into green. And now going for the expansion. And note, 6 militia only. But 5 footies. Heavy on the footies. Never stopping footy production. Very good. I think that is one of the key things to do against undead. Never stop making footies. I like how Infi is forcing both creeps to be low HP, so Coil can only steal 1. WFZ did get the last hit on one of them. He needs it on this one as well, but misses it. You really need the level 2 on the DK. But he holds on to the mana. And as you can see, the Fiend arrives, but the whole camp is gone already, so the Fiend can't help to get the last hits. Oh, that was a misclick, Coil. He wanted to put that on the Peasant, but he gets the kill regardless. And that's level 2 for the DK. Infi with a solid game so far. He gets level 3. But if he paid closer attention to not giving experience away, you guys remember the Water Elemental from the early game? That's what gives the DK level 2. If he doesn't get the Water Elemental, he doesn't get level 2. So, every little thing matters. Experience. That's what it's all about. More peasants are coming from the main. 2 were lost at the expo, but it's totally fine. And yeah, this expansion is going to be much earlier for Infi than it was previously for Sock. Footies, I believe, all survived. We have 7 footmen already, and more footies coming. This is footman number 8. Infi sending some footies away to scout as well, which is always very valuable to do. Unless the footy runs into an ensnare, he shouldn't really die, or the undead has to invest a lot of mana. And the AM can just keep creeping. If the AM gets level 4 before the Fiend Lich push arrives, the increased mana for more Water Elementals and a bit more right-click damage is going to be a tremendous help. So, WFZ went for 1 creep camp. That's usually the most you can afford. After that, you really have to pressure. At least that's what it seems like from the top undeads. Is he really going to creep this camp? Huh. Infi's being left alone. And this, creeping this camp, the green, into this one, this is what now is allowing the merc camp creep. Especially on this map, I think WFZ's decision to creep is a big mistake. Merc Camp is always so valuable. On some maps, it's very inaccessible, like on AZ, but here it's pretty accessible if the human just gets a bit of time to creep. Items are rather unfortunate here for Infi with a double ring, but could be decent for the MK later. And now, Merc Camps available, which means Trolls and Berserkers, and upon daytime, Mud Golem, which is a big deal as well. WFZ want to get the level 3, but I think the trade-off is not worth it. Yes, he gets the level 3 on the DK, but with good micro and killing footies, he should get the level 3 anyways. AM goes for the boots as well. Look at how much space Infi is having this game. He gets the Merc Camp, he gets time to creep this one, he gets the boots. He gets like almost everything. Footmen do have defend now. We don't have too many left, but still a decent number. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 footies, I think, at the moment over here. And there we go. Level 4 AM. With Clarities, this is going to be endless water elementals, which will be soaking up quite a bit of damage and returning decent damage as well. Tech, close to finished. So, for now, Infi is trying to hold on. This is a nice move. This is a nice move. This is actually a really good move that forces the DK away. But this move was not necessary. Infi had the level 4, had high footy numbers, with defend. He could have gone for Mercs as well. He would have been able to hold here even without the surround. But because he's Infi, he manages to find the surround as well. And that is the icing on the cake. I feel I'm being ultra analytical today. But this matchup comes down to very slight nuances, and small decisions have heavy impacts. Plus, it's not really that micro heavy, so I think this is the right opportunity to heavily analyze. So tier 2 is done. MK's coming out. How different is this game looking compared to what we saw previously? And it's primarily because WFZ decided to creep these two camps. These two camps changed everything. And I don't believe it was the right choice. In fact, I'm very sure it was not the right choice. Footy numbers for Infi standards are rather low. Only 7 over here. And he's not making more. But he's just not making more because he's feeling so safe. He's across the map, pressuring the undead there. MK is coming out. He's going tier 3. He's got towers ready, shop ready. AM level 4. AM level 4. Such a big deal. Banshees? What? Banshees are very good units for fighting. But this game isn't really about fighting. It's about breaking the expansion. Unless WFZ counter expands. Ah, okay. Alright. Now it makes sense. There comes the Acolyte for the counter expansion. But it's gonna be a very late one. Blacksmith coming, the macro is on point. Infi already with 500 gold. Lumber is a bit the issue here for him. But he's got most his upgrades already, I guess. Tier 3. And no Sanctum, by the way. Infi didn't have to go for Sanctum because he got Merc support, because he got level 4 AM, because he got the high footman numbers and never lost them. And this is a classic Infi play. Distraction attack into the main. Every Acolyte killed is a bonus. And in the meantime, AM harassing the expansion with the Telly Staff to join into the main. WFZ wisely left a Destroyer and units behind, but it still resulted in a cancel. So AM has to TP in here. And is gonna delay the mining a little bit more. Oh, Dreadlord. And with no Destroyer here, these footies actually survive quite a long time. Acolyte repair should save this Haunted, but again, it's expensive. Mining time denied, Acolytes killed that have to be remade, MK is trying to get the cancel here. I don't know if that's gonna work, but even if he dies, it's okay. He's level 1. Oh. Losing the Haunted would be instant GG. And there it is. Big mistake by WFZ, losing way too many Acolytes. If you lose too many Acolytes, you don't have enough for the repair. GG! And Infi takes the 1-0. Flawless game by Infi. Not flawless. Gifting the Water Elemental away. That was his one mistake very early in the game. But yeah, that's how small decisions can have massive impacts. Creeping those 2 camps by WFZ, that's the big mistake. That gives Infi all the freedom, that gives him the mercs, the level 4, the boots, the towers, the shop, the footies, everything. Yeah, if WFZ doesn't step it up massively, this could be another 2-0. But this was one of the better human maps. Echo Isles, so WFZ is going to have a better counter pick next. AZ and LR are normally the maps that are left in the pool after the vetoing. Concealed and Twisted, normally always vetoed out by the humans. And Terranus. And what's the other one? Yeah, Terranus and Echo are normally the undead vetoes. So I wonder what WZ vetoed. Maybe he vetoed Terranus and Northern Isles. We also see Northern Isles oftentimes. We'll see here in just a moment. Wow, it's Concealed Hill. That surprises me. We saw this map quite a lot at WGL, but again, WGL was a different meta. WGL was the 1-base tier 3 meta from the human side. And for that, Concealed is decent. But it's a really hard fast expansion map. It's the hardest. Either Concealed or Twisted, arguable, but yeah, it's definitely a hard one. So no surprise that WFZ is choosing this one as his counter pick. I wonder if Infi's gonna expand. He doesn't have to. 1-base tier 3 is still playable, but most humans don't seem to be that fond of it anymore. We saw it from Hawk, actually, quite a lot against Happy in the W League Europe, where he was able to make it a very close series, 3-2. Seems like we're gonna have a regame here. There was some sort of bug. But should be good to go right away. So let's head into our next one. So the scoreboard, there we go. Infi in the lead after another impressive performance. I think every map that I saw so far by Infi was really, really well played. Infi, by the way, was the finalist, a finalist in Yule Cup 1 as well. It was Infi versus 1-0 in the final of Yule Cup. Where it was a 4-3. A very close series, where Infi back then was playing Night Elf in the good old 1.30 days. The Keeper days. Those days are over now, though. And Infi's back playing only human in big tournaments. He's been playing actually a lot of random in the WGL qualifiers and was surprisingly successful with random, beating plenty of tier 1 and tier 2 players. It was quite insane. Archmage opening, obviously. WFZ is not straying away from the meta either. It's the Ted Fiend build for him. Yeah, as I mentioned before we headed into the game, this is a really hard expansion creep. There's double poison guys, which damage all of the militia. All of the creeps can be stolen. The big boy does a lot of damage. The overseer also can be stolen. To make matters worse, if the undead harasses and drops low HP, there's a fountain to fall back to and heal up for free. That is normally one of the biggest weaknesses for undead, the early game healing. That can be done here. Can also be prevented though with footy harass and stuff. But yeah, this is by no means a very good human map. But Infi left it in the pool, so he seems to be at least feeling somewhat confident about this. Normally on Concealed we always see DK creeping first. Even Happy creeps first here, which is like... was quite the shock to me when I saw it for the first time. WFZ is getting distracted by the footy here a little bit. Is he gonna get the kill? Oh, he is actually. Ah. Footy runs into the ensnare. Arguably a mistake. It also slows down the DK though. So this may have been an intentional sacrifice. But it's 40 experience. Is it level 2 right away? Then it probably wouldn't be worth it. So tech is coming up here. I don't think it's enough experience. But it's one coil away. Oh, it is! Oh. Okay. Maybe it still was intentional though. Once again, you can see Infi is going for the expansion really quickly. And the footy bought him the time. If the footy hadn't been harassing, the DK would be here already. Oh, it looked like a misplay. It looked like a misplay, sacrificing the footy. Whew! The long range coil almost connects. But it actually doesn't. Quite a few of these peasants are hurt though. Oh, and Infi plays around the last hit really nicely. More skeletons are coming in. Peasants could be falling, but the DK's out of mana. No more coils for the time being. Good saves into the gold mine. No easy kills. 1. Okay, 2. 2 peasants died. This is really good, considering this is concealed. What a smart play by Infi. He's like, whoops! I got my footy ensnared. Whoopsie whoopsie. That's not what I wanted, but it's exactly what he wanted. It's exactly what he wanted. Super crisp, super fast. Gets up the expo, gets the level 3. And losing a few footies here is fine. A few peasants here is fine. Totally manageable. In the meantime, footy production continues. What can be nice for the DK here, the healing at the fountain, is also nice for footies. Get them damaged, pull them back, heal them up at the fountain for free. So, WFZ, what's he going to do this time? Previous game, his biggest mistake was not creeping... was creeping too much. And WFZ, because he was at 26 out of 28 supply... Wait, what's going on? Yeah, he was at 26. WFZ did not sacrifice the Acolyte, so he had to cancel one Fiend to make the Lich. So, he has now only 2 Fiends. This is also not ideal. Either you want to sacrifice the Acolyte or you want to have a Ziggurat coming up earlier. So that's definitely a little macro mistake by WFZ. Infi teching already. It's always a good sign if this tech starts decently ahead of the under tier 3. It's pretty much the same speed though. WFZ teching on 2 fiends. This is European style. This is very rare to see from the Chinese. Means, of course, destroyers and all the good tier 3 stuff will be coming up much earlier. But also means that you can't pressure well at all on tier 2. 2 fiends only don't do much against 7 footmen. Oh, and the surround. Infi's looking for it.
The player's forces are under attack.
May have it trapped over here. Oh, almost had it. It looked like he had it, but not quite. Defend is coming. And the next footy queued already. Did you guys see that? More footies. More footies. Very important. So here's the Lich. Ideally, you don't want to clump up. Yeah, okay. Would have been nice if Infi had spread the footies out a little bit. But maybe he was busy with other stuff. But defend finishes at the perfect time. 2 footies died so far. But 2 footies for 2 Novas. That's a decent trade for the human. And now, DK low HP, out of mana, Lich out of mana. Easy hold. All it cost was 2 footmen. So what's WFZ gonna do next? Statue comes in. And here you see the difference. If WFZ had been macroing better, had sacrificed the Acolyte, and would have teched later, he would have 4 or 5 fiends right now, plus statue, and WFZ would be really strong. But 4 or 3 fiends is a big difference. And if he had had 3 fiends earlier, he could have looked for more kills, the DK could be closer to 3. So again, every little decision matters. Everything adds up. And Infi once again with an outstanding game. A brilliant move early with the sacrifice of the footy. Just that little move, plus his realization of what it did to go for the fast expansion, puts Infi in a great position now. Lumber is a little bit low for Infi, but he's got decent peasants. Lots of peasants on lumber, actually. And going all towers, upgrading all towers before tier 3 is the decision here by Infi. Wants to be safe. Boots and staff. Oh, Infi's looking for the counterattack. Footies are already on the way.
A town is under siege.
Statue. Not with the Lich. This is a slight mistake. WFZ has faced these run-bys plenty of times before, though. The best response to that is DK plus 1 destroyer, defends at home, Lich attacks the expansion. But the statue not healing. All these fiends are damaged now. All these fiends should be full HP. But won't be punished as the AM stabs to his footy buddies into the main. This is going to be good experience for the DK. Oh, the MK shows up, though. Perhaps he can threaten the Death Knight. Spirit Tower also probably a little bit late. With WFZ not seeing the footies for so long, he should have expected this, kind of. But it's not too much damage on WFZ. Like, Acolyte is still all alive. Some ghouls are falling, but WFZ doesn't need the lumber that bad right now. And the DK does get the level up. TP towards the expansion. Oh, Lich could have looked for a big Nova there. Slightly missing an opportunity. But if these towers all come up, this is going to be very secured. Towers also heavily stacked on top of each other. This used to be a big no-no against destroyer pushes. But nobody really plays destroyer pushes anymore. And against mass fiends, this is pretty good. Makes repairing a little bit difficult, though, for the forward towers. So tier 3 is coming in now. That's what the footmen run by bought. A lot of time. It cost a lot of footmen, but it was a good usage of them because they became kind of useless for fighting anyways. So if you can't fight with them, then at least buy time. Infi once again playing this really, really, really well. He knows exactly what to do. And this is what happens if human is not under constant pressure. This is why 1-0 and Happy always, always, always attack. Basically never creep. Always push.
The town is under siege.
Second barracks coming as well. This is supposed to be the Fiend counter, the Mass Knights. Might be getting cancelled actually. Knights Gyros. Oh, so close. More peasants are coming. Okay. Barracks is not gonna die. And WFZ kind of wasting mana here to kill peasants. Yeah, he delayed the barracks, but not by much. That cost him 2 coils. Again, this matters. Mana, state, very important as well. And Infi, he's not too afraid of this army right now. Killing the altar before the pally would actually be a big deal. But I don't think it's enough damage. Mostly piercing here with the fiends should make this altar survive for long enough. We do have 1 masonry upgrade, but only the single one. But that's enough to buy time for the pally. Here he is. Dreadlord again. One of the WFZ specials. Normally we see Dark Ranger almost every time from almost all the other undeads. Dreadlord can be really good in 2 base versus 2 base to have Carrion Swarm later against the tanks and the gyros. But he's a hero who heavily relies on levels as well, and don't know if WFZ can find those levels. Infi's looking to buy time again. He just wants to mine more gold, make more army. And the towers are supposed to buy him that time. Also more upgrades. Lumber's pretty low now for Infi. There's a shredder on this map, but much more hard to access than, for example, on AZ. Infi still biding his time, not breaking a sweat, creeping up more and more. With his level 4 AM, he can do that pretty well. He's soaking up a lot of experience on the MK, but not like he can solo creep the MK up here. Carrion Swarm. Decent against peasants. Decent against gyros. But only decent before level 3. Not really good. He has a lot of rings, right? Double ring here. Pally got the Staff of Sanctuary, the Orb of Fire. And note also the difference here in tower positioning compared to Sok. Sok had a few towers before the peasants and a few behind. Infi puts them all in front. So the peasant line is always protected. Yeah, I must say. This game isn't, or the series so far, isn't too flashy. But I think it's still, for me at least, certainly fun to observe. Because Infi is just playing it so damn well. They're just gonna get level 3 here, which is a good level up. DK is close to 4, Dreadlord's close to 2. This camp gives a lot of XP. But that was also just picked up here by Infi, who finally went into upkeep. Still a lot of gold. Lumber is still the big problem. Is he refusing to make more peasants? Is he waiting for the shredder perhaps? Oh, Scourge Bone Chimes for the knights. That is really good. I think this item is sometimes overrated, but against knights, or for knights, excuse me, especially if Disease Cloud should come in, it's really, 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 really good. Acolyte moving out. It's counter expansion time again for WZ. WZ has a really strong army right now. He's got Master Banshees and a lot of Fiends. Fiends and Banshees. This is the best human undead army, basically always. Well, not against Night Elf, but other than that, basically always. And Infi doesn't want to fight yet. All the Banshees threatening the possession. But Infi saw the Banshees now, so perhaps he can stockpile on more staffs now. Did he get a Shredder, by the way? Oh, the Knight is stuck. Infi did not get a Shredder. He's still super low on lumber. Transitioning now into mortar teams, that is the right choice. And canceling the expansion here has to be the right call. This may cost him a TP, but even if it does, absolutely worth it. Cancelled instantly. But WFZ still has a lot of resources. We're starting to approach the super late game here, where upgrades also become very important. 0-0 on the Fiends. 0-1 on the Knights. And the Flying Machines. I feel like recently it's been a lot more about upgrades, but especially these last 2 weeks, I've seen so many people completely skipping upgrades. Zeppelin drop! Good old Infi style. Is he gonna start playing tanks soon? Nope, just mortar teams. Mortar teams, the best thing that human has against Banshees. And Banshees, one of the best late game things that Undead has, so mortar teams do make a lot of sense. Knights do have Sundering Blades, by the way, so lots of damage against Fiends. And also good damage against buildings. Ooh, that's a scary TP. TP out. Can he possess some Knights? Yep. 2 Knights stolen. And that was one of the first mistakes by Infi. Not looking for the TP. If he sees the TP coming, he should be TPing out much, much, much sooner. So that cost him 2 Knights. Small mistakes, once again, can be expensive.
A player's forces are under attack.
Infi's still rich, though. More than 1,500 gold. Hero levels are looking decent. Pally not being level 3, that's the big one missing. AN not being level 5, that's also a little bit lackluster. But it's okay, he's level 4. MK would love to be level 4 as well. Not having Clap, by the way. Only Stormbolt and Bash. Clap is naturally always best against melee units, because they naturally clump up around the MK. It's not bad against Fiends, but it's not as good as it is against melee units. Dreadlord got level 3, Lich got level 3, DK level 4. So WFZ has the experience lead. Still no Fiend upgrades. I can't help but feel that this has to be a mistake now. Knights also only 0-1. Of course, for Infi, lumber was always, or was for a long time, a problem. Alright, in we go. Sleep's coming out on the MK, can't use any of his spells right now. And the Banshees, oh, connecting well. Infi has to TP out. This is not a good fight for him. And he does make it out. Infi's lumber issues are like his biggest problem this game. His upgrades just aren't that good. Especially on the Knights. Damage towards the Fiends isn't looking too bad though. The Gyro's also kind of useless now, as there's no destroyers left anymore. Possession coming in once again. Do we have staffs? Only one staff. There is a staff, but he's saving it for the MK. Only one staff is also a slight mistake by Infi. At this point, he should have had more. But supply-wise, WFZ has the lead here. He's looking for more kills, and his heroes are, of course, very strong. Here comes in the staff now. Invul on the MK. But this only lasts for 7 seconds. This is getting quite scary now for the human. The Burrow saved the Fiends as well. The Gyro is not being used for detection. And more Knights dying. This sleep is turning out to be really good, actually. Getting cancelled sometimes, but not always. Coil Nova, and the Pally dies. MK has to fall back, but the Zeppelin, oh my god. Just barely saves him. And WFZ suddenly back into this game. The counter expansion seems to be working. He wasn't able to break the opponent. And this is why I'm still not convinced about Knights. Especially if you're not heavily upgraded. Buy back Pally from the tavern. Oh, he had an invul, but didn't use it earlier. And the main expires for Infi. Still so low on lumber. Yeah, when he was creeping around the map with the AM. Now, I know this is being very picky, but when, you know, WZ was attacking over here and the buildings were buying time and he was creeping with MK and AM, he should have gone for the lab. He could have crept that with MK and Water Elementals and gotten a Shredder. Easy to say in hindsight now, I know, but yeah, that would have been the best play. Because this missing lumber is really turning out to be a big, big problem. Knights only 1-1. Not that good. Mortar teams also, no upgrades on them. Pally, not level 3. Aim is close to 5 though. And Infi is getting ready for another base perhaps. Double cannon tower. Nowadays, cannon towers do benefit from frag shards. So this could be really good against Banshees especially.
A player's forces are under attack. A town is under siege.
Nova Carrion Swarm can be very dangerous for these peasants. Another thing to keep in mind, this gold mine doesn't last that long anymore. One cannon tower cancelled to get the resources for the new base. And Infi's going for the counterattack. This is a smart play. Oh, WFZ. He can TP in, and he is going to TP in. MK getting blocked by the Water Elemental. Uh-oh! And possessions coming in. Wait, he's not killing the MK? What?
A player's forces are under
More
attack.
teams putting damage towards the main, but it will be forced to retreat here. Towards the middle. MK is back. This is the last stand for Infi. If he doesn't hold here, this is hopeless for him. But the mortar team positioning is outstanding. Infi's on the high ground. He's fighting with the uphill mischance now. Whew. Okay, Infi gets level 5 here as well. That's nice. There's no destroyers anymore. Oh, look at the damage. Pretty good damage. But again, no attack upgrades on these mortar teams. Expansion is going to run out soon. This cannon tower was really nice. Only a single breaker. So Curse could absolutely become a factor. Scroll of Protection. WZ is going in. He's going in big. And the AM isn't here at the moment. Anti-magic everywhere. This is really hard to fight right now for Infi. Unit army, so big. Still no upgrades, but plenty of units. Good movement from the Banshees, trying to get away from the mortar teams as much as possible. Oh, and the flying machine's getting taken out very easily. Sleep after sleep coming in, dispelling against it as quickly as he can. The DK in front. Is that how this game ends? The Death Knight is not paying attention. Taking way too much damage there. WFZ with a crucial mistake. He could buy back the DK if he had the resources, but he doesn't have the resources right now. Maybe if he cancels something. AM in trouble as well. Holy Light something. No! First hero for the human dies as well. No invul on the AM. But the Dreadlord getting surrounded. Stormbolt surround. He has the invul. Infi is not holding the surround. Something perhaps he could have done. More teams in the back. Getting damaged now. So many things to handle. Infi's focusing on the hero kills. And he's gonna get the Dreadlord. WFZ. This looked like his game for the taking. Becoming perhaps a little bit impatient. And then losing the DK. The grave mistake. And now... Okay, AM is brought back. Holy Light instantly. And mana regen again for all the human heroes. Oh, WFZ. Great play again by Infi. He got into a dangerous position this game. It looked like Infi had given away his advantage, but he does clutch it out in the end. Well done by Infi.